So we just wrapped up the release of our Harvest Time SVG bundle. The Scarecrow here in front of me was one of the pieces. Came out awesome. You guys are super excited about it, and a lot of you have already made it. Great little hostess piece. There's a little basket as well as a card, everything you need. And today we are including a freebie. If you are hosting Thanksgiving this year and want to make it special, we've got a beautiful and cute little place card to go along with all these little decor items, or gift boxes, if you will. But here you can see what I have in front of me, and it's a pretty simple piece, and I went ahead and decided that I'm not going to spend time doing any inking on this, because I figure if you are hosting, you probably got 4 to 8 people coming, and you want to do this quick. One thing I do want to mention is, and as promised, we've been testing the solid score feature of the Cricut Maker. As you can see here, we've got solid score lines that are included in the extras folder. So for the beautiful Rosette here, and for the little place card here, you've got the solid score line option. It's probably still going to be a little bit before we begin including solid score lines in all of our projects, because we want to make sure everything works nicely, but this is our first little go here that has officially been released. So without further ado, let's just kind of get started on the assembly here. We'll start with something simple. I actually ran this through my Silhouette. I did a print and cut. I've tried to do print and cut on the Cricut, but it doesn't like print and cut with colored paper. It won't do it very well, if at all, unless you're doing it on a white piece. So anyway, I'm putting glue on this, and we're going to take our little place card. I already folded it in half, and we're just going to glue this right to the center of the actual card itself. So make sure you get that nice and centered. Now I ran this through a laser printer, and that worked really nicely with my Silhouette. I rarely get the Silhouette out unless I do print and cut, because I just like the way, I like the interface, and you can do it on colored paper. Again, some of you probably have done print and cut on colored paper with the Cricut. I've not had consistent success, and because my time is, well, elusive, I just have to make sure things work the first time, and it doesn't really fail me. So anyway, here's our little turkey. I've already kind of done some pre-piecing here, but this main rogue piece, the color rogue, I ran that through an embosser with the Sizzix Tiny Dot. So we're just going to throw some glue on the back of this brown piece, and just going to line that up with the bottom here. Get that nice and centered. There's a little strand of hair there. You want to make sure that that is also kind of centered. And it is a little tough gluing things on embossed pieces because you don't have as much surface area. You're only dealing with the surface area that raised section is providing, so it may take a few extra seconds for it to kind of grab and hold on. Okay, next we're going to grab this piece, and we're going to glue that onto the piece that we just glued down. And just match that up with this little hair up on top there. Okay, and then I've got his little wattle piece that's going to go on next. And again, this I ran through the embossing folder as well. I'm just going to line that up with the bottom there, make sure that that's nice and lined up. So, you know, you could even help or have a child help you with this project. Very simple. Some of the pieces are a little small, but if they have good hand-to-eye coordination, this is definitely, probably a 5-6-year-old could do it, a really good 4-year-old maybe. And let's throw the beak on there. And we're going to draw in the eyes, and this one's going to have some eyebrows. I'm going to do that with a pen. So if you just take a look at the final photo, you'll see. So I'm back. I kind of butchered the Rosette here, and I had to recut it because I totally did it wrong. What we're going to do is this last piece of the rosette. Also, obviously, you want the scallop part sticking out, so it's round. We're going to take this last little piece here, and we're going to tuck it behind this little Pac-Man looking shape. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take and we're going to glue one piece like that and kind of sandwich it. And then once that's sandwiched, it'll hold that in place. And then we'll take this last little flap and glue that behind there as well. So you may actually not even need a glue gun, or a hot glue gun, I should say. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue like that. Okay, and I'm going to put some over here as well on this side. And I'm going to just sandwich two pieces like that. And just hold that in place for a second and let it set. Okay. So hopefully you can see what I did there. I just took this end piece and slid it all the way up on one part of Pac-Man's mouth until it wouldn't go any further, and I just glued it on both sides. Okay, so now that we have that, we can take and form the rosette. Now again, this is 120-pound paper here, so it's really given me a fight. So you can use hot glue if you want, but then all I'm going to do is take these last two segments here and take this piece and tuck it under like that. Okay, and we're going to glue it. We're going to sandwich it over Pac-Man's face or his mouth. So I've got it on both sides there. I'm going to take this and I'm just going to push it in as far as it goes up to that middle point and just give it a squeeze. I'll hold that in place for a second, and then what we can do, the hot glue gun may actually come in handy, because even though we've got that, this part still wants to move. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to tuck that in nicely like that, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of glue on this part here, the center part of my little Pac-Man. Hopefully you can see that. You can see that little dot of glue there. Just pop that right in there and then just give that a squeeze and hold that until it sets. And that should hold this rosette in place for us very nicely. And this next little maneuver here is really going to hold this rosette in place. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue right towards the center here and just kind of flatten it out a bit. Just like that. Give it a few seconds to where it's almost set. And then what you want to do is you want to kind of center this so that these two little bottom scallops are kind of halfway over the last two parts of the rosette. And make sure that his head is nice and centered and that his body's nice and centered. This little scallop here should kind of match up with the two little parts of the scalloped rosette at the top there. So this is kind of what we're looking for. I drew the face on here and he looks a little hungry. I think he's a little upset. So I may have to fix his face. I think his eyebrows were just a little too mean looking, but that's okay. So finally, what we're gonna do is now just take and glue this onto our little place card here. And what I would do is look at like the third rosette from the bottom, the ones that are actually dimensional, not the flat ones, and try to line those up with the top. I'd say that would probably be a good alignment for that. Okay, so what we'll do, I'm just gonna hot glue it. Again, the third rosette, keep your glue below that. I think the hot glue, I don't use it often, but I think this is a good project for it. Okay, I'm gonna just put this down. Well, I'm gonna hold it up for you so you can see it, but we're gonna put it right about there. Make sure it's nice and centered. And don't get any glue above that area, obviously. And just flatten that out. And there is your cute little place card. And it's pretty straightforward. If you want, you don't have to do the eyebrows. I kind of stink at drawing, so it doesn't always come out well. I'll probably fix that, but And then you can use if you have tiny little black gems or rhinestones, little tiny little pearls if you want, you can use those instead. But there is your final place card ready for Thanksgiving. You can easily whip up, a half dozen, even a dozen of these in no time. Maybe even while you're doing your baking or getting some cookies ready, you can get these together and make your Thanksgiving a little extra special with some DIY. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed hanging out with me and crafting with me. If you did, hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel. And if you make this and you get your table decorated this year, we'd love to see it. So join myself and 7,700 other dreamers in the official group on Facebook by doing a search for Dreaming Tree Group. And as always, I look forward to crafting with you again. Stay on top of all things Dreaming Tree and engage with us today. Get the latest news and enter in our giveaways on Facebook. Get inspired by following us on Pinterest. Be the first to see our new product launches on Instagram. Do you prefer Twitter? Yep, we're there too. Watch our beautiful product trailers and assembly tutorials on YouTube. For more information, visit www.3dsvg.com. Live, craft, love, and dream.